Right. Good day and welcome once again to another episode of Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, where we talk Schoolboy Rugby, and once again, Schoolboy Rugby. Can
Okay.
you believe it? It's already episode 50. And incredible how time has flown. It's been an incredible year so far. So many things that's happened. Tournaments, memories, interviews. It has been an absolute incredible journey. And guess what? More is yet to come. This is only just the beginning. It's the
Yeah,
end of the beginning.
yeah.
With us, as always, is of course the founder of Schoolboy Bonanza, Mr. Schoolboy Bonanza himself, Louis van Kopenhagen. How are you today?
Good on you, Steve. Wow. It's amazing what and how quickly things have gone along that we're sitting
Yeah.
in episode 30. It just feels like yesterday we did our first one.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
it is just amazing, and it's just amazing to see the journey that we are on and the support we've got.
Yeah.
Um, it is something you never truly understand the magnitude, and it always humbles you and makes you feel grateful for what we have. So
Oh, yes.
um yeah, so today we are just going to talk about the upcoming games for this weekend. We heard some bad news during the week. The Grey College game has been cancelled due to
Yeah.
an outbreak of swine flu. So um, that's a pity because I think that would have been a very excellent derby. So, but I'm sure it will take place when the time is right. So, and we wish all the boys a speedy recovery and that they can carry on and that this inter schools will take place.
Yeah, unfortunately, Louis, of course, is talking about the game between Great College and I think it's Selborne.
Yes.
That's been cancelled due to swine flu in at Great College. So
Mm.
unfortunately, that game won't take place on Saturday. But there's still other schoolboy games, and I can tell you, schoolboy rugby, it's still far from finished. We've still got a good 2 to 3 months of jam-packed rugby to follow. So let us have a look at this weekend's games.
Right. So this has to do with some of the Noordval Cup games. I've done the presentation a little bit different.
Hmm.
So some of the games that a lot of people have made a hype about. This was last week. Um, oh dear. This Here we go. Here we go. Sorry, that was last week's games. So let's go in no particular order. Swartland versus Skoonspruit. Paul Roos versus Bishops. Now, this is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, two strong teams in the Western Cape. Of course, we know Paul Roos is last year's number one team in South Africa, the defending South African champions.
Hmm.
And Bishops, always, I can remember in my days in the Western Cape, Bishops was always one of the legendary schools in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Long, strong tradition of rugby. So that's going to be a very, I think it's going to be a tough game, but I will still say Paul Roos should be able to run off by 20 plus points in the end.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And I think Paul Roos is really uh, on a mission to stake the number one spot this year because they've had a phenomenal season so far.
Oh yes, the game afterwards, the next game, Louis. What a game that is going to be! Oakdale, the Giants of Southwestern District. Last year's Giants slates against Paul Gim, and now we know Oakdale can beat those schools. They beat two of the Western Cape Giants last year. So if
Hmm.
there's a school in South African rugby that knows how to beat the Western Cape Paul Giants and Paul Roos, it is Oakdale, currently eighth in South Africa. Last year they were sixth. So that is going to be an incredible game. And I will say, I believe Paul Gim should be able to run off victors, but I'm going to say by 3 points.
Okay,
I
by
think
three.
it's going to
All
be one
right.
of those games. where it's
Yeah,
going to be an absolutely nail biter, and Oakdale is going to push them all the way. So I will
yeah,
say there, Paarl by 3 points.
right. Then also the next one, Sax versus Paul Boys High. I think that's also going to be an
Oh,
excellent
yes.
game.
Yeah, Paul Boys High is now currently sixth in South Africa, and Sax is also one of your top schools in the Western Cape. Um, Incredible. And look at that next game, Louis. Yo, there's some amazing game. I can understand now why the coach, it was Paul Boys High's coach says that whenever the Western Cape teams are playing weekend rugby, it's like test rugby. Look
Yeah,
at the games. I mean, Rondebosch versus Durbanville. Rondebosch is also a strong top 20 performer, and we all
mm,
know Durbanville 24th in South Africa. Wow, what a game that is going to be.
ooh. Who do you think will take this one?
Sure, Louis. I will say traditionally Rondebosch. I'm gonna say uh, Rondebosch by two.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Um, then Barral Fallet versus Brackenfell. I think this is going to be a very good game as well because Barral Fallet so far has actually had a very good season.
Yes.
It seems they are on some kind of a mission. What? I don't know, but something is brewing. And the type of rugby they play is beautiful rugby. You sit there, you want to watch. Um, you can see they play as a unit, and that is good to see. It's not all about me, myself, and I. They understand it's a team sport. They play for the team. And I'm telling you, Steve, if they continue on this wave they are currently on, watch what will happen in 2027. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's just amazing how much effort I heard in this week. One of our members on our Schoolboy Bonanza group actually commented and he says because of the exposure that Schoolboy Rugby is getting on, especially on social media and
Mhm.
on television. I mean, if you look at it, there's even a television stream. If you want to catch Schoolboy Rugby, it's free publicity from our side. You can They can thank us later. You can catch the games all on Super Sport Plus. As I say, Super Sport School Plus can thank us later.
Yeah,
But that is the exposure that schoolboy rugby is enjoying, and because of that, more and more schools are investing in top coaches,
yeah,
proper instructors,
yeah,
professional instructors, and they've got money also to scout around. So
yeah.
schoolboy rugby is getting more and more and more professional and contested and competitive as we are speaking. So there's no more. It's very seldom that you get easy games. There is actually no more easy
Mm.
games. We've seen it at the Northern South tournament when we went there. Every single game, it was exciting running rugby from both teams. There wasn't a walk over the game. There was literally no walks. Sometimes there was a here and there a big score, but even in those games, the other school actually hold them off until the final 10 to 20 minutes, and then suddenly the other team
Yes.
will run away with it.
Yes.
But Schoolboy Rugby is incredibly how the competition is. So
Yeah.
no more easy games, actually.
No. No. Um, and you see also, just to get on to that point as well, um, if you see, especially with these kind of games they play, your derbies, these kind of things, your
Yes.
inter schools, and some of them continue with rugby as a career, but some of
Yeah.
them I've heard as well from good sources that you ask them, you played for the first team, for example, for Affis, you played Craven Week, even SA schools. Why don't you continue with rugby as a career? And they will tell you week in, week out, it is such hard games, and they actually almost lose their love for the game. And then he said to me that there is my problem, that because I don't love it anymore, I don't want to continue.
Yeah.
And
That's what happens.
this is what I think you and I also try to foster, whether it's the big schools, whether it's the small schools. We always say that play for the love of the game. Whether you win or
Yeah, the rest
lose,
will follow.
the
Absolutely.
rest will follow. A result is a
Mm.
result. You win, you lose. So what? But
Yeah,
play
absolutely,
for
Louis.
love.
Absolutely. I remember when I was a runner, literally, that was my passion and my love for middle distance running
Mm,
got me to a point where I got sponsored eventually by New Balance because I was passionate. And the moment I got
yes.
to a stage where I didn't love it anymore, I
Yeah.
stopped. It was
Yeah.
2014, and I retired at the age of 35. I could have run my 10th comrades and things like that, but the
Mm,
love and the passion wasn't there anymore. And that's why we encourage Schoolboy
yeah.
and that we come across is love the game, play your heart out, but first of all, the first priority is enjoy it. I
Yeah.
remember my father once when I played for under 15, 18, to cut a long story short, the coach said he just wished that the players could play up to their potential. And my dad looked at him and he said, "You know what? As long as they enjoy the game, that's all that matters. As long as they enjoy playing out there, that's all that matters." And the coach was dead quiet. He didn't know how to answer. He was half uncomfortable with my dad. And but it actually stuck to me. But because my dad had a point, when you in schoolboy rugby, yes, it's important to win. We all play for winning. Nobody wants to lose. But you
Yeah.
first play to love the game, and you play. You first, as a coach, encourage the boys to have a love for the game, and all the other things will follow and
Yeah.
will come into place.
Yeah. No, 100%. And if we go to the now, look at the next one, Steve. I think this is going to be a mouth-watering game. Tygerberg versus Belleville. Now, we had an interview with the
Yeah.
coach of Belleville, and what a phenomenal man.
Yes.
So humble, so laid back, but typical Cape Town peoples. But I think this
Um,
is going to be one of the highlights out of the Western Cape.
I
That,
can tell you, Belleville's got an amazing structure. And what I liked about Belleville is the structure they've got. You know, they even got analyzers and stats that they give to
mm,
the players. And they
mm,
even have two provincial players from the Stormers and from the Western Province Currie Cup team that helps with consulting and coaching. So they've got an incredible system going on in at Belleville. And that's why also one of the reasons why Belleville is just outside the top 100, but always, between 100th and just outside the top 100. And
mm,
I can guarantee you that they're gonna progress. If they continue like this, they're gonna progressively climb the ladder because they are
yeah,
doing the right things right. They've
yes,
got their structures right, and they are really taking this new kind of age of professionalism in schoolboy rugby in South Africa very seriously,
yeah,
and that's very exciting.
yeah.
Very exciting. Stellenberg
Then,
versus HTS Belleville, Louis. What a game that is going to be. Number 3 in South Africa against HTS Belleville.
yeah,
It might be a tough day for HTS Belleville.
yeah, I think so too. Um, but it would be great to see that they bring a challenge towards Stellenberg,
Yes.
because it will show, in my opinion, it will show Stellenberg's character, and if they really have that character to push on to go further and to reach the top. So
Oh, yes.
that's going to be a very, very interesting game. Um, then Charlie Hofmeyer, Breda Storp, that's going to be, I think this is going to be a very interesting game. I think not much given into it. I think maybe Charlie Hofmeyer will take this one by 3-5. That's what I predict.
Yeah, it's two Boland teams. Two teams
Yes.
from two well-known schools from the Boland taking
Mm,
on one another. Charles C. Hofmeyer. I will
yeah.
go Bredasdorp. Um, I will go Bredasdorp by 5.
Okay. All right.
Just to be different.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, that's fine. And then we can see, in the next show who won, who didn't. So, yeah, no, that's good. And then Strand and Huguenot, I think that's also going to be an interesting game. DF Academy and Milnerton as well.
Yeah.
Drosti and Woestergem. I think this is also going to be a very good game from the Boland side.
Oh
Um,
yes, both of them were. I think both of them were at the North Side tournament.
mm,
I remember Woestergem was there.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
And both of them are very strong teams inside the top 100. So, yeah, some incredible games in the Western Cape going on. This is only the Western Cape.
yeah. Right. Now we get to KwaZulu-Natal. Now this is going to be an interesting one. Michael House versus Pretoria Boys High. We know earlier this year Michael House beat Office. Um,
Yeah.
so this is going to be a very interesting one. Then Clifton,
Yeah.
Glenwood. Then now this is going to be another mouth-watering game.
Durban, yeah, two giants of Natal rugby. Durban High School against
Mm.
Westville. Both
Mm.
of the teams inside the top 20. Huge game. And then if you thought that is a huge game, look at the next game. Maritzburg College versus Yorkton. Also incredible two giants. And then Kirsty against Northwood is also two
Yeah.
teams that doesn't stand back for any of the
Uh-uh.
Natal giant schools in the
Yeah.
Natal Sharks province. And then to finish off over there, St. Charles of Natal is going to play against St. Stadians. That
Yeah.
looks is going to travel. I'm not quite sure. Is it a home game for St. Charles?
Yes, because I spoke to St. Stithians earlier in the week,
Okay.
and because when I saw this, I was like, okay, hold on. If this is a home game, I will go because, as we know, I literally lived down the road from St. Stithians, and the lady, it was very interesting, but she was very nice. And I said to her, listen, I see you guys are playing St. Charles. And she
Yeah.
laughed and she's like, why? I said, is it a home game or away? And she said away. I'm like, oh. And she laughed. She's like, why? I said, I literally live up the road from St. Stephen's. And she's like,
Yeah.
don't worry, there will be some home games. So yeah, it's a away game for St. Stithians. I think this is also going to be a cracker of a game.
Oh yeah.
Saw last week how St. Stithians really brought a very good game. Their left wing, as I said previously, had a phenomenal game, as well as the fullback. So they've got some players that are standing out and putting up their hand. Um, so we'll see what will happen with that game. And
Absolutely.
then we go to the Eastern Cape. Now this
Yeah. Eastern Cape
interesting.
rugby is incredibly competitive, Louis. We
Yeah.
spoke to the Graham College coach, and he himself confessed, there's so much talent in the Eastern Cape.
Mm,
So huge amount of talent. And of course, we all know that Grey High School and Graham College themselves, Grey College and no, Grey High School
Grey
and
High
Graham
School.
College are battling it out for the number one spot
Yeah,
in the Eastern
in
Cape.
the Eastern Cape. Correct, Steve. So Queens versus St. Andrews, Dale versus Marlow, Pearson versus Framesby, Kingswood versus Brandwach, then Selborne versus
Grey College. That's the
College.
one. That's the game that's got cancelled.
Yes,
Selborne
that's the
College versus Grey
game that
College.
got cancelled. Yes, correct. So, and then look at this one. Now, this is going to be probably the highlight of the Eastern Cape games, in my opinion. Daniel Pienaar versus Grey High.
Oh yes.
That one. Sorry, I skipped. Nico Milan
Yeah,
and
there's two games. The Nico Milan versus Graham College is also going to be an incredible game,
yes,
and then Daniel Pienaar versus Grey High School. That's two cracker games in the Eastern Cape,
because
and those games we need to look out for because,
mm,
as I told you, Graham College and Grey High School are battling it out for the number one spot in the
yeah,
Eastern Cape. So
yeah,
whatever happens in those games is going to determine who's going to be number one in Eastern Cape after the weekend,
yes.
according
And
to the ranking points.
just to get back to Nico Milan and Daniel Pienaar,
Mm,
both of these schools have had a phenomenal season so far. They
yeah,
are really sitting on the heels of Graham College and Grey High School. They are really pushing towards this race for the number one school in the Eastern Cape. And both of these schools, they play beautiful rugby, Steve. They are not scared to run with the ball. Um, Daniel Pienaar as well as Nico Milan. They see they are down. They're like, let's go. And they push and they run and they run. And you can see they are so determined that they are really gearing up to push. And maybe this is not a bad thing because what's
No.
going to happen? It's going to push Grey High and Graham College that a little bit more to be like, yikes, whoa, these guys want to stake number 1 and 2. So maybe we will see them up their game as well in the coming
Oh,
weeks.
yes. Oh, yeah. No, the battle is on. The line has been drawn, so let the battles begin.
So I'm very happy I am not in that boxing crate because I think the punches are going to fly in the Eastern Cape for the number 1 spot.
Oh,
So
yes. Absolutely.
then
Absolutely.
to
Yeah,
round it
Kingswood
off,
is,
yeah,
yeah,
Kingswood and Westring, I think that's also going to be a cracker of a game. Then Free State and Griquas, Richards Park, St. Andrews, I think that's going to be a very good game.
yeah.
Diamantveld versus Noord-Kaap, I think those two as well, because they are
Oh,
two
yes.
schools. So I presume they are the ones who's trying to get the top spot in the Griquas region. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to be a cracker of a game.
Yeah, people also need to remember the games that we are showing you is only some of the main games that's been played this weekend. Obviously, there's a heck of a lot of games. If we have to show all the games that's going to be this weekend, we're going to sit here until for 2 hours to 2.5 because we are talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I mean, there's
Mm,
24,000 schools, primary and high schools in South Africa. Now you can imagine how many high schools there is and how many high schools plays rugby over a weekend. It's absolutely phenomenal, and we're going to show it with one of the future games that the future game that Louis and the crew is actually going to go to is actually not here, but we will talk about that later. What future game is going
yeah.
to we are going to go to
Mm.
as the Schoolboy Bonanza crew.
Right. So now we come to the big hoorah of schoolboy rugby at the moment in 2026, right?
Yeah,
Noordval Cup.
yeah, it's the premier competition in South Africa on a
Hmm.
Schoolboy rugby.
Yeah. So Garsfontein versus Rustenburg. That's going to be a good game, but I'm sure Garsfontein will take it. Um, Look at the next one, Steve. Noordjewel and Helpmekaar. I think
Yeah,
this
it's a
is going to
yeah
be a
huge
good
game
game. Yeah.
and a must-win game. I must add for Helpmekaar.
Yeah.
They've already lost 3 of their first 4 games in the Noordwal Cup,
Yeah.
2 times now against Monument.
Mm,
So it's an absolute must-win for Helpmekaar to get the season on track and to still be in with a chance for the playoffs.
mm. Then Monument Menlo Park. I think that's
Huge. That's
also
also
going
going to
to
be
be
a huge game. Menlo Park is most definitely not going to stand back for Monument. Most definitely
Nope.
not. And it's at Monument's it's home
It's
crowd
a home
advantage.
game for them. Yes, correct.
And of course, one of our fellow leaders, all the way from Ireland, Elaine Hogan, is a huge Monument fan. So
Oh, all right.
she's going to be
Again, I
glued
will be watching
in
that
front
one.
of the tally or wherever or in front of the updates that we're going to give on who's going to win there. So a shout out
Yeah.
to Elaine
Mm.
for Monument against Menlo Park, and let's hope that Monument can do their latest Irish fan proud.
Right. And now, Steve, I think out of all the games that we will see for the Noordval, I think this one is going to stand out for me. The reason why, yes, they are not in the top division. Kempton Park versus Swartkop. Now, both of
Mm,
them have had phenomenal seasons. Both of them have not lost a game this season. So
yeah,
the heat is
I
on.
think that game could very well determine, who's going to be the strongest contender to get promoted at the end of
Yeah.
the season to the
Oh,
Premier
yes.
Division.
Oh, yes.
I mean, Swartkop, absolute revelation. I need not say more about it. So I think that's going to be a very crucial game.
Mm. Then Hot is Middleburg versus Westphalia. I'm sure Middleburg will take this one. Then
Yeah.
Klerksdorp versus Transvalia. And now the next
Yeah.
one, Elderaine versus Marais Viljoen.
And
I
these, of
think,
course, now we are now heading to the third division. Of course, the
yeah,
plate is the second division, and the shield is the third division.
yeah. So I think this is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
This is going to be a very good game. Heidelberg Volksschule versus Lichtenberg, I think. And just to 2 seconds on Heidelberg Volksschule. I saw them last week. I saw them play, and wow, Steve, they they play with heart. They
Yeah.
they you can see they give their everything, and well done on them. And even after the final whistle went, they just carried on, and the captain is like, because they got a penalty right at the
Yeah.
stroke of full time, and the captain is like, ref, you've blown just before the final whistle. Yeah, carry on. It's fine. Until someone makes a mistake, carry on. Line out, went. 5, 6 phases. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Got to the line and then knocked. I'm like, and they could have won that game. I'm like, mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sakuna against Petersburg,
mm,
also as part of the Noordwal Shield.
yeah,
My money, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, but if I was, I will say I will go for Petersburg.
okay.
Um, yeah, Ben Foster against Piet Retief.
That's going to be a
Um,
good one.
oh yeah, huge game to top
Mm,
of the third division, and then we move to the fourth division.
yeah.
Marinsky take on Brandwag, the Anchor against Huguenot Springs,
Mm,
Ermelo against Dynamica, and then Bergsig AK against Jeugland. And I would like to give and shout out to the founder of the Rassie Erasmus supporters group on Facebook. It's a group of 20,000 members. Tessigan Govender, whose children goes to Jeugland School. So
mm.
I know he's going to be clued to know what's going to happen in that game. And then, of course, Sports Fall School against Centurion,
Centurion. Yeah,
which is, of course, Swartkop's neighbors.
yeah,
Centurion playing in the fourth division.
yeah.
That could be a very interesting game. And that tops off the Noordwal Cup. And then, of course, the other games.
Yeah, these are all like local derbies. Um, we almost wanted to go to the Jeppe versus St. John's.
Yeah,
Jeppe will host St. John's this weekend. I think that's going to be a phenomenal game. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game. Then St. Benedict's versus Kes. Um, I'm sure Kes will take this one. Um,
yeah,
because St. Benedict's played against Northcliffe a couple of weeks ago when we were there as well. And do not take anything away from them. They really
yeah,
played with heart. Northcliffe, right in the dying seconds, scored the winning try. So St. Benedict's, they play with a mission, they play with a plan, and I think they will give Cares a good run for their money. So
yeah,
that's going to be a very interesting one. Then Parktown versus St. Albans, that's also going to be a good one. And then this one is also going to be a very, very good one. St. David's versus Northcliffe.
yeah,
That's going to
absolutely.
be a
Yeah,
cracker of a game because we've seen two of Northcliffe's games that we attended. Phenomenal,
yeah.
fantastic. And we know that St. David's beat Hoërskool Randburg at the St. John's College Easter Festival.
That's correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
So that's going to, I think that's going to add up to be a very interesting game. But from what we have seen, I will go with Northcliffe by 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I would predict. Ah. So then, then, let's see here. Ah, so
Yeah, the featured game. So where are we going to go to this weekend, Louis?
so this was, to just give a little bit of background. As I said, we almost, well, there were three options. Going to Monument, that was number one.
Okay.
Number two was going to Jeppe versus St. John's. That was option number two. But then I saw this, and purely because we've had an interview with one of the schools earlier, um,
Yes.
I said, there, case closed. No one is going to change my mind. So Bryanston High
Yeah.
School versus Worcester, Florida. Worcester, Florida will host Bryanston High School. Um,
Yeah.
so this, I can't wait for this. I think this is going to be phenomenal. I think it's two teams that are more or less on the same level. So
Yes.
I think it's going to, like we've had with all our days, featured days and games so far, it's not going to disappoint. So
Yeah, we
we
had
are looking
an
forward.
interview, as you said, with the coach of Bryanston, and of course,
Yes.
both these teams are not ranked inside inside the top 200, so they've got a lot to prove, but they've in a position where they've got nothing to lose. But as the coach of Bryanston said, they're now at the phase where they want to move forward season by season, and they want to move up, the leagues. So, and they've got a lot of talent, they've got a lot of heart. The players are playing, and the coach got a lot of innovative ideas to encourage camaraderie and to encourage, to build relationship inside the team. So Bryanston is a team that play with a lot of heart. We spoke to the captain of Bryanston High,
Yeah.
incredible, well mannered boy, passionate about his team. He believes in his players. They
Wow.
play with a lot of
Yeah.
heart. They play for one another, and they're
Yeah.
a team that really wants to move forward. So I can tell you now that Bryanston will definitely in the next 4 to 5 years grow as a rugby school. So it will be
Yeah.
great to see what they can do to Florida. They actually moved up
Yes.
a league higher so that they can get stronger opposition. So this is it for them. This game against Florida is going to be a crucial game for them to really prove that they belong in the league that they are playing, and that
Yeah.
they are a team that deserves to be promoted and deserves to get rated, to move forward in schoolboy
Yeah.
rugby, not only
And
in Gauteng but also in South Africa.
yeah. And also, do you remember when we had the interview with the coach of not Rand, but Bryanston, um, that they want to play against more Afrikaans schools because they know
Yes.
Afrikaans schools are traditionally strong in rugby because this will
Yeah.
also boost them, even if they lose. Look at that day when we went, you and myself went to Bastion versus Bryanston. Yes,
Yes.
they lost, but they showed heart right
Yeah.
to the end. Do you remember? And this is
Yeah.
what builds character. This is what builds momentum, courage, enthusiasm for the game, for everything around it. And this is also what the coach said, that it's not just rugby, but he wants to build the boys holistically. And
Yes.
this makes complete sense. But rugby is just the stepping stone, and
Yeah.
which is very good. And it's just phenomenal to see that they are prepared and try to play against your traditional Afrikaans schools where rugby is very strong. So
Absolutely.
it just shows they are hungry for more. They want better. And as they always say, how are you going to better yourself if you compete against better, compete against the best? Because then you know where you are good at, where your shortfalls are, and you can work towards that. So, no, it's going to be an epic day as we always have at these featured games. So we will be there probably from around 8 till the last game. I think the first team plays at 12. So if you're in the area, please come and say hello. Just give us a high five. Just talk to us. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Of course, as always at the future game, we will also have live previews and live short week videos about the development of the day and about the coming games and about the updates and about the happenings and the vibe at the ground. So whatever needs to be done, if we've got interviews available, we'll do interviews with maybe some of the players, the coaches, spectators, or if we need to give updates about the games, we will give a halftime update and then full-time update of the games, and we will just spend time to give you the vibe and to give you short updates about how and what's going on at the school. Of course, that will be live on our Facebook group, Global School Bonanza, Global School Bonanza. And then later on, it will also be on our YouTube channel. Of course, we will post it by Monday on our YouTube channel, Global School Rugby Bonanza. Global School Rugby Bonanza. Got it right now. Global School Rugby Bonanza. And of course, I won't be there, unfortunately, but Louis and his legendary crew will, as always, will be there to give you the best of the best.
Yeah.
So please, if you're in the area, come and support the guys, come and support the boys, come and support us, the crew. It will be great to see there, to have an interview. And who knows, we might even put you on our YouTube channel or our Facebook group if you come to say.
But yes, if they are willing. So it's going to be epic. And if it was anything like the game between Northcliffe and Rand Park, where we could not move. Once we sat, and just before the first team, it was you could not move, and we were like, we need to get out of here, we need to do this, we need to do that, but we couldn't. So we just take it as it is, and I am sure they're going to bring the gees, and let's hope they bring the gees like in all the games we've been to. So I can't wait.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. Let's hope they bring the gees. Of course, that brings us to the end of another incredible, exciting program. As I said, some amazing schoolboy rugby games. And as I said, that the competition and the challenge for the #1 spot in South Africa is still wide open. As always, after the game on Mondays, we will again post our team, the informed players that really impressed us. We would like to give a special shout out to Wesley Barnard for getting part of the discussion and for posting his team. Thank you so much, Wesley, for understanding what we're trying to do. And for posting your team. That's what we want. We want you to post a team. This is not an SA Schools team. This is just players that have impressed you and that were informed and that deserves a special recognition for the weekend's play. So players, informed players that have impressed you. This is not an SA School teams. We're not looking at the best players. We are looking at the standout players for the weekend that have really impressed you in the games that you have watched. So that is the rules how we do it. And as we are drawing now to a close of our program, as always, we would like to give a special welcome to everyone that's working behind the crew. But first of all, we would like to give a special welcome to our members. It is incredible, Louis. We are almost at 1,500. We are standing now, as we speak, that was at the recording, at 1,473 members. And I can tell you we are growing day by day by day. We are growing. It's absolutely incredible. On a daily basis, we are welcoming 20 to 30 new members. So it's absolutely incredible. If you haven't joined us yet and you would like to, we are a public group on Facebook. It's Global School Rugby Bonanza. So please join us and become part of the School Rugby Bonanza maniacs around the world. Not only in South Africa, but around the world. Of course, we will also like to give a special thanks to all our workers behind the scenes. First of all, we would like to give a special thanks to our fellow leader on the panel, Elaine Hogan. If you would love to know more about Elaine Hogan, I've got good news for you all. You will see more of Elaine Hogan in the nearest future, as he's also going to be part of our interviews on the interviews panels from time to time, all the way from Limerick Island, close 10 minutes drive literally from Munster Stadium. And she's passionate about rugby. She's helping us to promote rugby in Ireland, and it's incredible privilege to have her on the panel. I think she knows more about rugby than I do, but that's just a secret between us. Anyways, moving on, we also would like to give a special thanks to our legendary journalist, the one and only Anu Botes. He's been quiet the past few days, but don't worry, he's still there, and he's still going to be involved with the interviews. And in fact, one of the interviews soon is you will see him, and then a lot more of the interviews he will be involved. And of course, he's not only involved in on our chat shows with the interview, he's also heavily involved with the magazine, as he and Louis is in charge of our online magazine. And if you also want to get the link of the online magazine, it's also available on our Global School Rugby Bonanza Facebook group at the featured section. You can just go there. You will see all our past episodes, our past 29 episodes, as well as the link for our YouTube channel. Of course, we've also got a YouTube channel. You can subscribe at Global School Rugby Bonanza, and then also other platforms, TikTok, as well as Instagram under Global Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, Global Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, and our WhatsApp channel as well. And then we also would like to thank Louis' beloved wife, Sarah, for her work behind the scenes. Not only is she heavily involved with the layout of the magazine, but she's also got a huge whip, making sure that our founder is always working and he's getting all the things on time for our online magazine, and that he sticks to the schedule of the game. And as I say, you never mess with a Chinese lady, so never mess with a Chinese lady when she's in charge. But anyways, moving on. We also like to thank our crew that's always at the featured game, that always works with us and helps us out. Special thanks to our cameraman, Brian Dudley, that is always effortlessly at every single game where possible. Without the cameraman, it's almost impossible to give you these visuals. So it's so necessary to have his service, and it's so valuable to have his services available. We all need to tell you that at this stage, we are still doing it free of charge. We are all still volunteers, but we are passionate about the cause. And then, of course, we also would like to thank our legendary scout and also one of our co-presenters at the featured game, Mr. Von, the madman, that is also passionate about the cause and about promoting schoolboy rugby in South Africa. And then, as I said, we would like to thank each and every of you that is watching our show, that is for your comments. As I said, a special word of thanks to Wesley Barnard for his input and helping with selection of team. And then we would also like to thank each and every single one of you. Special word of thanks to our Brazilian young man, Dave Schmidt, that also always posts about Brazilian school rugby and Brazilian student rugby in Brazil. It's incredible to see that rugby is really growing on a global stage also, not only in South Africa and in the tier 1 nations, but globally. Thank you once again for joining us. Enjoy this weekend's rugby. And then until next time, from myself and, of course, our founder, Mr. Louis van Kopenhagen, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.